Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Aiman Fahd and this is my presentation for Master Project 1 presentation. Development of flood inundation maps for urban catchment for Muar River. This is my full name, my matric number, Master of Project Engineering, and my supervisor is a Dr. Muhammad Salahuddin Adnan. Chapter 1 Introduction. For the last 30 years, flood became a serious social risk in Malaysia, and it has a case to loss of life and mobility damage. Change in flood order are due to climate change, land use, and the human activities such as deforestation of water infrastructure. Flood modeling is important for forecasting flood events, especially with those great degree. The outcome of these forecasts is important part for the understanding, controlling, and managing the risk of flood and giving the authorities all the information that they need to minimize the effect of flood in future. There are several forms of flood: location, furthers, duration, time, and length, all modifying the flood from one another. Cases of unnatural flooding include the high-intensity rain, flash floods, and whisperland inundation. Problem statement: flooding inputs life, property, and risk as well as causing a surface water pollution by overlanding both a natural river and artificial drainage. The Muar River catchment area has been sustained by several disasters, which have created a major damage and effects on people, companies, and utilities on the day basis. The input have been combined by significant acceleration changes during the last 10 years, which improved the flood management and flood process. Research objective: the aim of this study to produce the individual flood maps for Muar area Johor and by the following objectives: to analyze the last 10 years hydraulic and hydrology data by using trend analysis method, to analyze the acceleration of flood for Muar area, to produce a flood inundation map by using HARA software. Scope of study: the study will be focused at Muar area, and this city experiencing the three types of flooding that often occur through the year. The worst scenario: this area located at the lower layer area susceptible to the high tide phenomenon. To understand the hydraulic behavior in this city, the last 10 years of the hydraulical data from Department of Irrigation and Drainage Malaysia will be collected. Rainfall, temperature, and discharge data will be analyzed by using trend analysis method to understand the change of the hydraulical data in the last 10 years. The significance of this research: the hydraulic flood simulation going to carry out from much of this effort. The study of the hydraulic and hydrology situation in Muar River for the last 10 years by using trend analysis to estimate the possibility of any flood that may happen in the future. Chapter 2 Lecturer Review. To minimize the negative effects of the hydraulic cycle from affecting human society, humans should not disturb a neutral system that can be effect on the hydraulic cycle. Type of flood: hydrologists describe flooding as rapid spike in water release, creating sudden peak in the level of water. The water value falls to an almost steady base flow or non-flow until the flood is over. The flood occurs when the water and or sediments are present in areas with the other water supply. Flood was described as invasive body of water. The flood can be identified into multiple categories depends on the location and the origin of the incident. Trend analysis. The identification of the hydraulic data in the long-term range is an important and a difficult topic which over 3 decades is of raising the importance of the hydraulic and the climate science. Importance of analysis scenarios for climate change and to improve the research on the climate change. Flood map hazard and identification. Flood hazard map is designed to raise public, local and the other organization awareness of the likelihood of flooding. They also encourage people in flood-prone area to learn more about the risk of the local floods and to take appropriate measurements. Modeling of flood identification. The stream flood simulations is used for simulating the flood activity for forecasting the impacts of the given occurrence. The hydraulic modeling are often used in the modeling to determine the movement and timing of flow along the channel. Flood mapping. Production of hazard maps is first step towards flood risk assessment. Better understand and communication floods extent and flood categories such as water depth and velocity. Map and control of flood. Play the flood boundaries delivery derived from simulating a given event. They are easier to read and comprehend due to their quality and are often used in the initial risk management process. Chapter 3 Methodology. In this chapter, we're gonna explain all the process and determine the operation system that we need to create and develop identification map for Muar area. The area of study. The catchment area of the river is 6,138 square kilometer, which is 3,601 square kilometer, with the 58.7% is in Djibouti, and the rest is divided with the 3 more different states. Hydraulical data. The research aim to analyze the river system reaction to deep rainfall and to draw up the flood hydrograph with the version using the required rainfall runoff model from the details of the rainfall. Data that we need to elaborate the map, flooding report, rainfall, water level and stream level, soil map, land use map, on-site data collecting. Right. The data collecting. The data will be collected from two different stations on the river, and the rainfall intensity. The rainfall intensity is designed as the ratio of the total amount of rainfall depth fall during a given period. So, with this equation, we're gonna get the depth unit per time unit. Temperature data. So the average temperature in Muar is 26.9 Celsius or 80.5 Fahrenheit, as it shows in the table given. River discharge. The discharge, or the volume of the water flowing in the stream over a set interval of time, Q. It's equal to area multiplied velocity. The stream water velocity is typically measured by using a current meter. Trend analysis by man-Candley test. With this equation, we're gonna determine whether the time series has been either upward or downward trend. Maps. So the flood mapping is a critical element for flood risk management, and that map will be based on the satellite images. The Inundation map. In this study, HERA software will be used for modeling the software product of the flood map of the Muar River. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your time and patience. And also I want to thank my supervisor for his help and time. Thank you.